Hey guys, David here, and thank you so much for tuning in on today, Wednesday. So really quickly, it's not going to be Educational Wednesday anymore. We're going into a little mini series here of wealth building videos. And so I want to turn Educational Wednesday into Wealth Building Wednesday. So again, we're going to be changing the name for a couple of weeks or however long I find that this is actually working and it's really giving you guys the knowledge and information that I want it to actually give you guys. So right now, this is seriously the best time to seriously tune in every Wednesday and listen to these videos. Some might be longer, some might be short. Some are going to be using guides and other people's advice and how they live their life and advise others to live their life. And others will just be basic, simple tasks and simple things. Again, everything to wealth building is super, super simple. It's not complex. The wealthiest people are not smarter than you or anyone else. They just follow these simple rules to build wealth. And the top millionaires, the ones that are in the high middle class, the high class, upper class, they follow these principles and these strategies to get them to that level. All right. So we are going today be talking about wealth building budgets. Again, this is just going to be a really simplified idea here. We're not really going to be budgeting anything out. We're just going to be talking about how much you want to be saving for investments through your from your income and your paychecks. So before we start, again, if you watched last week's video, which was the 3-bucket principle, which Ty Lopez talked about, we see that you want to save 10% for risky investments, the ones that's going to build your wealth. You're going to save 80% for your daily lives, and then 10% again for your savings. Basically, we're doing a different strategy, a different way of thinking of how to build wealth. Again, all this stuff, I want you guys to know all this stuff is very, very simple. It might be a little different, but the reason why we're doing this over and over again, why we have so many different ideas and so many different topics that might not seem too related or different a little bit, is because there's one simple fact that is very similar to each topic, strategy, principle, whatever it is. There's always just one idea of saving, investing, budgeting your income. And also, it has to be repetitive. To get you guys in this mindset of really being wise with your money and building wealth, you have to get in this repetitive mindset of constantly taking in knowledge and thinking about what you're doing with your wealth. If I just made one video on wealth, you would definitely never become wealthy. But if I make hundreds and hundreds of videos each week, multiple videos, you constantly repetitively watch this, and you want to rewatch this. I want you guys to rewatch this 5 times, literally every day, for the next week's 7 days in a row. I want you guys to rewatch these videos. The reason for this is because repetition. I want this to stick in your minds. I want you to get this idea of saving and taking a percentage of your income to put into investments and savings to really fit in, because it's a huge amount. I believe it's like 50% of people are living paycheck to paycheck, especially at a time when the coronavirus is raging. No one knows what's going on. People are losing jobs. This wealth building sessions and videos and this whole collection of this mini series is going to help you guys, so the next time there is a pandemic, and even now when there is a pandemic, you're able to take control, be calm, because you know that you're building wealth and you set yourself up for risky situations and you're set up. So I know this was a long introduction and talking about this a little bit before we start writing here, but you guys have to understand this right now. Because the reason you're in the lower class, the reason you're poor, you're in the middle class, is not because of some bad situation, because of the lack of information, lack of education, is because of you're making poor choices. The lack of good choices. You're lacking in making the right choices, and it's because of that you're set yourself up to not be able to build wealth. It might be hard. It's a hard thing to take in. And you might be mad that I just said that, and you might say, oh, David, the circumstances, environments, all that. Look, you're totally right. But when it comes down to it, the single thing that everyone makes the biggest mistake in their lives that will keep them poor is their choices. Your choices in life, the ones that you can control, and you can control a lot of choices, are what keeps you poor and keeps you in the middle class. Because when you get a pay increase, you don't save that money. You go out and you buy more expensive things, increase your debt, but not increase your assets. And so that's what we're getting into, and this is what we're talking about today. It's super passionate. I'm super passionate about this because it's super important to me to make sure that you guys are understanding this concept here. So let's get started with this. We're going to go ahead and fill out a quick sort of summary of how you should be investing and saving your income. All right, so right now, what we're going to do is I want you guys to sort of understand this thing. When you have your income, or let's say your paycheck coming in, here's what we got to do, okay? And we're going to get into more detail later on. I'm going to tell you some tips and tricks in this video, and some more detail in different guides of different financial advisors and what they recommend in another video. But right now, what we're going to do is, let's say that your paycheck, you have $1,000 coming in, all right? Before you do anything, before you spend your money, before you pay literally anything, I want you to take 10%. Start with 10%. Try to start with 10%. If you can't, do 5%. If you can't do that, do 1%, all right? But eventually this number, you want to get this number to between 30 and 50%, all right? You want to be able to get, I say 40% is a pretty good thing. If you could live off of 60% of your income and take the other 40% and invest it and have it in savings and investments, you're golden, right? But we're going to start with 10% here. So 10%, so that's $100, right? You can spend that $100. Let's say you don't want to spend time educating yourself. You don't want to get smart. So you can spend that $100. You can send it to your 401k. All right? This could be your job, wherever you want to send some money to 401k. This way, at least you're having some investment. This might go up, I don't know, 3 or 4% a year, depending on fees. We'll cut it down. And it might go down, but at least you're investing some money, because overall, if you're investing in the long term, especially when you're really young, even with the stock market going all crazy right now because of Corona, this is a good time to buy and hold for many years into the future, because eventually the stock market is going to go up. Another thing too you can do here is, you can find other investments if you want to put it into CDs, if you want to put it into different mutual funds. Again, depending on how you're feeling, your confidence, your education, if you want to really get smart and educated, you can make really great returns. But that's not the point here. The point here is I want you guys to start investing. I want you guys to start saving your money and putting it into investments. Now, again, when we're talking about the three bucket rules, I would recommend also taking probably 10%, putting that into like a saving, or this could be your savings. This could be more of your like investments, like your risky investments to build wealth. Again, it depends if you have that opportunity. If you don't, greatest thing right now, take 10% and find out how you can live off of $900. How you can survive. Hopefully you can see this low. How you can survive off of $900. That is the real question here now. Now, for 50% of Americans, that's hella hard. Why? Because they literally need $1,000. Actually, no. They need about $1,100 to survive that month. Notice how they only make $1,000? Yeah, they're going into debt, which is not the best solution here, right? So you want to, okay, now you know that you will have to survive off of $900. That is your solution. That is what you calculated right here, 10%. Eventually, you want this to get to 50%. You want to be living, or 40%. You want to live off of $600 a paycheck instead of $900 or $1,000. And you could do this in multiple different ways. So we're gonna go through a couple tips here to get you to allow you to be able to save 10% of your income. Now, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be pretty hard. It's gonna be a couple things you gotta do. One thing, easy and best thing you can do is start to reduce your debts. Start paying as much as you can. Try to really focus on reducing your debts. Don't add new debts. Don't take out new credit card loans. Seriously, focus on taking down your debts, because these have interest, and that is making you pay a lot more into the future, right? So you want to start paying these guys off as much as possible. Another tip here too, especially if you're younger, I need you to start working more. I mean, if you're struggling right now, because you can't live off your paycheck, you got to start working more, man. There's something going on, and you got to work more. If it's more hours, if it's a new job, if it's making extra money at that job, whatever it is, you got to work more so you can make more. All right? So you got to make more. Now, when you make more, let's say now all of a sudden you're able to make another $100 extra for a paycheck, right? So now you have $1,100. All right? Now you take 10% of that, which is $110, and you're left with $990. See how you're only missing $10 now from your $1,000 goal? So again, yes, you're going to invest more money. The more money you make, the more taxes come in, take your stuff. But in the end of the day, all of a sudden you have $990 that you can now budget towards and use to survive. So now you're going to be working more time, more money, but you don't want to spend the extra money you make. All that money, extra money you make, should eventually go into your savings and your investment. So the first thing when you make more money, you want to probably raise that to about $1,000 so you're able to live off of your expenses. You're able to pay your expenses, all that stuff. Once this has risen up, right, that's when you want to start the rest of the money you want to be invested. So let's say we still go back. Maybe we take about 9% instead. This becomes 100. This can become 1,000 then. This will now allow you to at least have $100 every paycheck going into, let's say, a 401k. This is very, very important. This is very basic, but very important to remember. You want to get to a point where you're able to cover your expenses and still be making more money. And this is where people make the biggest mistake. When they start making more money, they buy more shit. Shit that will literally make them lose more money. So when you make more money, don't increase your expenses. Don't increase your buying habits. Keep everything the same. Just increase the amount of money you put into investments every paycheck. Increase that percentage. If you're able to somehow figure out, I can survive for $800 a month, great. Raise that up. If you can survive off of $800, you make $1,000. That's 20% now you're living off of. And you want to keep cutting down. So the third thing we can do, and we talked about this too, is you're going to reduce spending. Right? So you're going to reduce. If you go out and eat fast food, let's say like 5 times a week, or you buy Starbucks, look, Starbucks is expensive, especially when you're paying like $9 for a drink. Some people haven't even done the budget, but when you do your budget, you realize that you spend probably $100 to $400 just on Starbucks and breakfast material and foods and stuff that you're spending so much money on useless crap. Instead, look, here's what we do. We look at this, we say, okay, I'm eating out a lot. Let's say for breakfast or for lunch when I go to work, and in the morning I get Starbucks. Instead, how about we buy a huge packet of coffee that costs, maybe $10, and it can make us about 30 cups of coffee. And I take that instead. Well, now it's about, 30 cents? I'm probably doing the math wrong. What was it? Probably like 30 cents a coffee instead of $9. I just saved you $8.70. You got $8.70 back that you can increase and put towards surviving and reducing. So now instead of living off of $900, now you can live off of $991.3. Right? So now you literally save more money. Now let's say you go out and eat fast food. Instead, how about you cook your meals at home? And again, you cook for a larger quantity. You eat your food and have leftovers for the next 3 days. Again, you don't have to go out and spend $10, $15, $20 every single day. So how about you spend $20 cooking something for 3 or 4 days, and it's healthy for you. You can eat it a lot more. You don't have to worry about it. That's a better solution. Last one, and I know we're running out of spaces here. Hopefully you can still see this, but look. Check your subscriptions. Your subscription-based services, if it's Netflix, Hulu, if it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is, if you really aren't using that subscription, which I know all of us have some kind of subscription that we're still paying for that we literally don't use. I had a real estate system that I was paying about $60 a month for about a year and a half. And I literally used it like 3 times in the year and a half. But I still had it because I just didn't feel like canceling because I was too lazy, so I'd rather have that money taken out. That was stupid. I literally lost over $1,000 just because I was stupid and I didn't want to cancel the program. All right, so look at your subscriptions. Look at where your money is going. Build that budget out, have a strong budget, and see where your subscriptions are. Right? See how much money you're spending on just subscriptions and cancel as much of that as possible. Cancel as much as possible, especially if right now you're saving 10% and you have $900 to live off of. Find the $100 in your subscriptions that you're spending and cut them out. You don't need Netflix right now. You don't need Hulu right now. You don't need Apple Music, Spotify. You don't need all that. You got YouTube for free. Use YouTube, use free services, get rid of the things you're paying for until you're able to get to $900. Because your main goal here is to be able to start investing in your future. You want to invest in your 401k. You want to invest in, if it's real estate, if it's stocks, whatever it is. You need to have a budget. You have to be smart about this because in the end of the day, compounding effect is going to take effect. And that $100, you keep putting that in every week, every other week, every month. Eventually, that $100 just get turned into thousands, into hundreds of thousands, into millions. It's going to help you build wealth. It's going to create wealth. You're not just putting this money away and you never get to see it again. This money, this $100 right here is building your wealth. You literally, this $100 should be so damn important to you that you're willing to eat shit for the rest of your life or for at least 10, 20 years until you're able to build wealth. This money right here is your gold. The money that you're saving right here, this literally is your gold. This is your baby. This is your diamond. This is your vehicle to building wealth. But people instead are going to look at this $900, look at the $100 they got to give up, and say, screw that. I'm going to spend, actually, no, screw all that. I'm going to spend $1,400 and go into more debt. Because I'll live for now and I'll live for the future. I'm not building my wealth. I'm building into becoming a poor middle-class worker that never moves up in the ranks, never moves up in tiers, because I am not thinking about my future. I don't care about my future, and I'd rather be in debt than financially free and wealthy as hell. So look at your situation. Yes, there's going to be a couple things you got cut out. Everyone has something they can cut out. I guarantee it. There's something you can always cut out. There's something you can always do to increase your income, your paychecks, to decrease your debts, decrease your expenses. Seriously, guys, look at this. I literally just mapped out your road to building wealth. This one simple video has so much knowledge. I could literally charge millions for this course because of the information that I literally just gave you guys for free that I got from many, many different experts, from knowledge and education. I compiled it and set it up here. It's the simple principle of just, look, you want to start at 10%. That's your goal. You can move up at any point. I'm just going to erase all this, at least half of it. Your whole goal is you want to start somewhere, right? If you start at 1%, 5%, 10%, I really don't care where you start. It's up to you. It's how much you can actually handle taking out of your paycheck. It's going to be hard. I will tell you right now, it is going to be hard. But I'll tell you this. If you know that every year you get a pay increase, and let's say your pay increase, let's say 3%. Dude, that's an extra 3%. You can live out, you can save and put straight into savings and don't even touch that. Don't even buy more crap because you're making 3% more. Now, I know inflation, price increases, all this. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's fine. But in the end of the day, don't worry about that right now. Just focus on the basic concept here. If you're making just barely to survive and there's nothing you can cut out, you got to start making more income. You got to find new ways to make more income, man. I don't know what that solution is for you. If it's driving for DoorDash, Uber, so many people don't want to do the simple things that makes just a little bit more income because they're so comfortable living and paycheck to paycheck until a coronavirus comes along and all of a sudden it's a wake-up call, and you realize, I have no money. I need money. I need to survive. How am I going to feed my family? Look, start at 10%, move down. You want to, if you get 50%, you're golden. But if you get 40% for savings and investments, and 60% for living, I'll tell you, you will be golden. Because eventually that 40% that you're constantly putting away, those $400 that you're constantly putting away, well, let's say you make $1,000 every week, right? You're making about $40,000 to $50,000 a year, $50,000 about. Okay, so you're putting $400 away each month. That's about $1,600 a month, and you can times that by 12. And there's no way I'm going to do the math for you guys because I don't think I can. Actually, I probably can. 16,000. That's what you got. $19,200. Hopefully I did that right. So you got about $20,000, which makes sense actually. If you're saving 60%, you got about $20,000 that you put into your savings account, into your investment. $20K. When was the last time you saw $20K, had $20K in emergency? In 1 year, you can literally have an emergency fund of $20,000. And then you could build and have a savings of $20,000. And then you could start investing another $20,000. In 3 years, you can have $60,000 saved up. That's a whole year's of income for you. All because you're living off of 40% or 60% and you're saving 40%. If you increase that to 50%, man, all of a sudden you're making $2,000 a whole year. That's man, I suck at math. $24,000. You just have $24,000. You got $4,000 more saved because you're saving half of your paycheck and living. You're living less. You're buying less now, but in the future when you retire, your wealth is gonna be so great that you can afford to do whatever you want and actually enjoy your life. And not be like everyone else and downgrade and buy a small apartment building and live barely and spend barely anything because you have no money and no wealth build up. Because you spend it all, you spend 100% of your paycheck instead of spending only 60 or 50%. Or even just 90%, saving 10%, 99%, saving 1%. Once you build this mindset, once you're able to fortify and solidify this mindset, it gets easier, guys. Well, anyways, besides with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I really am enjoying the series. Let me know what you guys think about this wealth building mini series, Wealth Building Wednesdays. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos. Leave a comment down below what you thought about this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, guys. Help me bring this message. Seriously, share this with your friends and family, especially those that are suffering right now from Corona. Let them see this. Let them see, expose them to this knowledge. Help them get better at budgeting themselves for wealth building. That being said, though, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next Wednesday for another Wealth Building Wednesdays video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.